All right, guys, welcome to Mitch's Vinyl Corner, and thank you for stopping by. So, today we are doing something a little bit different. We're actually not going to be talking about records. I wanted to take this opportunity to introduce a really good friend of mine, Monica Mondelli. Um, we were both in the Marine Corps together. Um, she has decided to she had decided to get out a couple of years ago, go on her own path, but she does have two different Instagram handles and she has her own YouTube channel, which is why I wanted to bring her on to talk about it, to bring our communities together. So without further ado, Mo, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Mo. Um, do you want me to just explain?
Yeah, just go ahead. Yeah,
Okay,
just talk.
sorry. Um, so I got out of the Marine Corps in 2022, I think. No, 2021.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I went into school and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I moved across the country to Colorado and I really liked it out there. And I feel like it's a really common thing for when people to get out to be like very big sad. And I found that going outside and picking up more outdoor hobbies just made me feel a lot better, like a lot more at peace with things.
Mhm.
And I decided to buy a van, which I'm still renovating. I know it's been like a long time, but there's been a lot of things popping up that has prolonged this. But I'll be moving in next month, finally. Super exciting. I can't wait to have it done. Um, So basically, what I do on social media is share the van build, and share bits and pieces of my life that I feel like somebody could learn from me or benefit from me because I'm someone that makes a lot of mistakes. And if it helps someone, if I talk about something that I messed up, I'd rather them learn from it. And I'm trying now. I started See You Outdoors as a way to convince people to go outside more for their mental health,
Mhm.
and I'm trying different ways because it's very new. So I'm trying different ways to either convince people or give them tips based off their different lifestyles. Because I know, for example, right now I'm in Norfolk, Virginia,
Mhm.
visiting my sister. And in places like this, it's kind of harder to get outside or like in the capacity of what I'm used to in
Mhm.
Colorado. So I'm like just trying to make different ways for people to realize that they can still have a good time and, like, it
Mhm.
can benefit their mental health a little bit. So it's kind of what I'm working towards.
Okay. So what made you I know that, being outside was one of the main factors for you to, you know, improve your mental health and to get out there and just be out in the fresh air. What was the big thing that really led you to like do the van life? Was it a combination of those things, like just for your mental health and stuff, or did you kind of see it other people doing like, hey, that's something that I kind of want to do. I'm young, got no really obligations. I'm doing well for myself. I just want to go out and do this. Was that kind of like the thing?
Yeah, it was a little mix of everything. When I came back from deployment, a lot of my social media was everybody's getting a van, which kind of
Hmm.
made sense because that was the time when COVID was coming around and people were losing jobs and they're like, well, if I'm going to do anything, might as well live on the road and explore. And it seemed like such a cool way to me to just be like, hey, I'm going to go do that now and not like worry about any responsibilities, and it's something I feel like I potentially missed out on just joining the military straight from high school, because
Hmm.
it's, like, very structured, you have to be, like, you know how it is.
Yeah.
You didn't really have the freedom to do anything, and then I also realized I had traveled more in the Middle East at that point in my life than I had in the States, and I was like, "That's kinda really shitty." So,
Well, you're
um
not the only one. That me and me included. So.
yeah. I don't know, it was really weird. I talked to, Max about it. He was like, "Yeah, dude, that'd be so cool," and he has an RV now. I was like, "You're gonna love it when you get out, man. It's so nice."
For those of you who don't know, Max is another good friend of ours that's currently still in the Marine Corps, but is living in an RV right now too. So he's definitely living up that life too. So now you're in school. So what are you going to school for now?
I was going to school for dietetics, I
Mhm.
thought having the background in nutrition as like an RD would help with the outdoors program that I'm doing
Mhm.
because a lot of mental health issues can actually stem from problems you're having with your gut or your digestive system and what you eat. And I think that's pretty cool because whenever I went to the doctor with something going on, the first thing they tried to do was like throw medication at me. And I was like, hey, I know how this works for a lot of people. Like, I'm not interested in
Mhm.
going through like that. What other remedies or like even if natural stuff works? And they didn't really help me with that. And it annoyed me because I was like, I know it exists. I just thought you would help me kind of deal.
Yeah.
And it turns out nutrition can help a lot. So I was going to school for it. I actually the only program I wanted to go to in Utah, because it has a sports nutrition concentration, and their internship, you work
Mhm.
with professional teams and, like, Olympic teams and stuff to like, you get paired to work with
Mhm.
them for that semester. I actually just got put on a wait list, and I don't have any plans to apply for another program. Because if I was gonna do the one program, it'd be that one.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Cool.
don't have my, I think the big thing for me was I don't have my prereqs done. I'm working through it, and the prereqs are Organic Chem 1 and Biochem, and they're not like they're harder classes, and if I like, thinking from the university's perspective, if I have really strong applicants who've already done the prereqs, why would I bank on you versus someone who's already done it, kind of deal?
Mhm.
So, I'm gonna send my transcript to them in the beginning of March again just to show that, like, I updated because I have an A somehow in OChem. Gen Chem made no sense to me, but OChem is making me feel like a god. Like, it's so weird. But if I don't get an interview with this, I'm not gonna be going to school anymore. Realistically, everything that I want to do, I can do right now. I just wanted to have the credentials for that, and if it's not
Okay.
right now, maybe I'll try again next year if I want to again.
Okay. Yeah, that was kinda like my thing too. You had brought up during the whole COVID thing where I mean, and that's another reason why Mo and I are actually doing this is to talk about mental health a little bit because I think it's something that, um, especially for those who are watching who are veterans themselves, I got a couple on my channel that do the vinyl hobby as well. Um, Mental health, I think, is something, at least for my generation, um, we really we didn't do too well. And we are now, I don't like using the word paying the price, but it's where a lot of that is coming back into us. Um, Sometimes in a negative way, but also there are a lot of resources now that weren't there or we didn't know about it or we were told to shut up about it. Now I think mental health has become something that is a little bit more accepted, um, especially coming from a guy's perspective, especially still on active duty. It's something that I do feel a lot more comfortable talking about within the last couple of years. Um, yeah, and it saved my life essentially. Um, it's not a permanent fix, and I want everyone watching this to know it's not a permanent fix. It's something that you have to take responsibility for yourself to continue seeking that help because it's not a band-aid, it's not a permanent fix. It's something that you have to um, learn to manage is probably the best word because um, you're still going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, but with the resources that are out there and the help that you can get and the community that you can go to and get that kind of help is really, really good. So I wanted to say that piece. But during COVID as well, I was thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? And that's what I went to college as well, and I got my degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness. So um, I'm actually going to go back to school this summer. I was doing a cybersecurity kind of like mini certificate. I did 3 classes, and then I'm like, this is kind of boring. But this summer is my last summer on active duty before I retire. and I need to figure out. I should probably finish it before that happens and before they take TA away from me. So I'm going to be doing that, and what Mitch is going to be doing after that, I'll probably know by the end of the summer. But with your van kind of project you have coming along, that's something you're going to document on your channel too.
It is. And
Okay.
I just wanna say for school stuff, like, if you or after you get out, like, dabble with different things. Like, don't force yourself into one thing and think you have to keep doing this because you chose it after you got out. Like, your mind
Mhm,
can change. There's no, like, pressure, if that makes
mhm.
sense.
Yeah, it's one of those. There are different opportunities out there. It's kind of like my situation. Like the job that I do in the military is very specific. The job that you and I did is very specific, and there's a lot of different avenues that we can go. But there's also one straight avenue that we can go to kind of stay into that, and that's kind of what I'm getting myself away from, because like there's other skills that I have and that I branched out to, that I can go a different path and make different money and not be so tied to what I was doing in the military. Because I think of, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think there's so many people that get out of the military and just, they have to be in that environment, which the environment was one of, I mean, do you miss it? I wanted to ask you that. Do you miss it in some ways?
I miss my friends,
Yeah.
but that's it.
I think that that's when everyone talks about they miss it, it's more the people. It's not the bullshit that we have to deal with on a
Mm-mm.
day-to-day basis, which I know for a fact, even right now, I'm not gonna miss it. I don't wanna deal with it now half the time, but it is the people that I'm gonna miss. And, I think me getting away from the military when I retire and do a second job after, I think that's the path that I'm actually slowly leaning towards, is like, maybe I should just maybe step away for a little bit, still have that community to always reach out to and connect with, but I know that I can always come back to work in the military sector and do what I was doing. I know that opportunity is always there, but I think I just maybe need a break for a couple of years, which is what I'm gonna
I don't think anyone would blame you for that. I
do. Mhm.
think the job that we're do or you're doing right
Mhm.
now is very fulfilling in my opinion.
Mhm.
Like, I liked the work that we did. The
Mhm.
environment made it suck, and taking a break if you feel like you need it is the experience you had is not going away. Like, the value that you have in that spot's not going away, so if you wanna take a break, take a break.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. So, I mean, only time will tell. But what other plans do you have once you finish the van? Do you have any places that you want to go to? Like first off, like, hey, once I get the van completed, I want to go to this spot. Have you thought about, how do you want to try to hit like every state kind of thing? Is that what you want to do?
I do, but after I do the van, I'm actually gonna go back to Colorado for a little
Mhm.
bit because I wanna pick up stuff like my pistol and a few things just to have on me because it would make me feel more comfortable. But then I plan on doing a few hikes in Southwest Colorado, which are supposed
Mhm.
to be beautiful.
Mhm.
One's Ice Lake, if you want to look it up. That's been on my bucket list forever, and I went to do it one year, and I actually got propane poisoning, and then I couldn't do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there was the weirdest little trip that I think I've taken. But after that, I plan on doing the one through Washington,
Mhm.
Oregon, and California. So I want to make it slow though. Like, I don't want to feel rushed going through my trip. So I'm
Mhm.
just gonna stop where I end up wanting to. Like, if I think a place is cool, I'll be like, all right, I'll take like a couple days to be here and then move
Okay,
along.
that's pretty cool. Any particular people that you follow on YouTube for the van life that you would recommend to people? There's a couple guys. There's the one guy who he has the nice, real big gaming rig.
Yeah,
He's got the
Trey.
he Trey. Okay, yeah, he's got the dog. He's got the little
Yeah,
dog. Yeah,
Millie,
and he's got the beard.
His YouTube's the fine print, and so is his social media. I can pull it up really quick. Um,
Yeah,
so
for those watching, um, he's a really good channel to do that. He's actually building a new rig
yeah,
right
his
now.
third one. It's Trent,
Yeah,
not Trey, but it's just that's
there you
really
go.
just
And
it.
again, I'll link his stuff in the description as well for him to follow if people couldn't see that. But yeah, that
Um,
is pretty cool. If I was, younger and Johnny Lee is who people watching is my wife. I've been married for 15 years. Mo knows her pretty well.
love her.
She even told me she was like, "Look, if we weren't married, I could so totally see you living in a van." And I kind of look at him like, you know what? I probably could do it. It's just my cooking skills would have sucked because I learned all my cooking, which is still very basic at this point. I can cook meats. That's about it.
That's all you
Um,
need.
they tell me to cook pasta still to this day, I can't fucking do it. I will overcook. I did it once early in our marriage. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna attempt this again. And then I actually made lasagna a little bit later, but it was my mother-in-law on the phone with me doing it step by step.
Still counts.
It still counts. You know what? It's the thought that counts, right?
Lasagna's hard too. I'm surprised you went from just trying to cook pasta to lasagna.
It really is there anything specific to this van that you're doing? Um, what kind of like feel are you going through? Like kind of like what I mean, like you see the different guys on YouTube that have the different types of bands, they have a different like they have certain aesthetics
Mm,
that they want. I think the guy I was talking about, is it Trent or Trey?
Trent.
It's Trent. He's got a real like he's got a lot of wood, like kind of like woodsy kind of thing. What are you going for? Do you kind of know right now?
Yeah, I am going to be I actually have the paint right here. The goal is to make it feel like I'm outside in case it rains or anything, but I'm doing green paint with a walnut wood accents and gold, and then I'm actually looking at wallpapers to either look like the forest or look like a sunrise in the woods right now.
That's pretty sweet. I'm sure when people look on your YouTube channel when you start making those videos, they'll be able to see that come along. I was really excited. I saw that your last video that you made, um, you were putting stuff together and you were talking about what you were doing. I was really, really excited to see uh, how everything's going to turn out. Do you have an estimated time of how long you hoping for it to take? I mean, things can go wrong, parts. What's kind of like the estimated time? Is there a within the life community? Is there like an average time that it could take you to make a van? No.
No, it's very person dependent. It depends on how in depth you want your build to be, and it also depends on your budget.
Yeah,
And then overall, it would be the time that you have to actually work on it, I would say. So everybody's is different. Like I've seen people's videos where they say they've built a van in like 2 weeks, and I look at that, I'm like, wow, like couldn't be me, but good job. Like, um, I'm hoping to have this done by the end of March. What's kind of holding me up right now is the weather.
hmm
I have 2 more cuts to make on the exterior of the van, and I can't do that without I need it to not rain for a few days,
yeah.
and it's been raining off and on, like, every day, even though it's not, on the weather report, so I'm, hesitant to do it, but I'm hoping by the end of March is when I'll have everything in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like you got a lot of big plans going on. When can people expect your next videos to drop?
I will actually be posting one tomorrow.
Okay.
That's gonna be talking about, kind of reframing how this whole issue with school and how it's kind of pushing me into maybe doing social media or at least trying it 100%.
hmm
And school is kind of a plan B, but I was so focused on making plan B work that I forgot about plan A in the first place, which was doing the van and traveling. So that's gonna be tomorrow. And then I'm making a book journal. So that'll be this week too. And hopefully next week I'll have my first part of the electrical for the van done. So that'll be another video.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like the main thing when doing? a van is putting the electrical in first. I think it's pretty obvious, right? That's like the big main thing you should usually do first, or is it the water system? I know those are probably two of the big
Um,
components.
I would say the way I'm doing it is I'm doing the electrical system first, that way
Mhm,
but I know where everything is going, though. I'm just doing the electrical system first, so when I run the wire, I know where it needs to be.
mhm,
Um, but yeah, I think electrical, at least for me, was the first big job that I've had to do
mhm.
because I don't know how to do anything. Like, I could woodwork all day, but, like, looking at everything, I was like, "Holy shit, I'm so glad they gave me, like, little diagrams of how everything works." Or else I would be so lost. I was no kidding on the phone with this one dude for like 30 minutes just going over stuff, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm literally gonna talk this back to you to make sure I understand what's going on so I don't blow up my van."
Are you planning to have like a water filtration system, or just like a straight water system to where you have to fill up at like a camping ground every couple days or whatever?
I am going to be doing that.
Okay.
I have a water pump that I'll be using and that I have attached a filter to it, so I'll be able to take water at the stops that supply water.
Okay. Now, what year is your van? I think that's probably
2018,
2019. What is
18 Ford Transit.
18 Ford Transit? Okay. I
It's a
seen got
diesel.
Oh, it's a diesel? You know what?
Yeah.
That's not bad, especially you're gonna be traveling a lot. I mean, diesel is gonna it is more expensive up front, but it's definitely a lot more fuel efficient.
Yes.
So is there how many miles is on your van right now?
I just hit over 100,000.
Oh, 100,000 for a diesel, that's nothing.
Yeah, but
That's pretty
also
much yeah.
I know it seems like a lot, but while I've been building this out, though, I do wanna say I've been making small trips with it without it being built out, so that's why the mileage is higher. When I got it, it was, like, 60 or something.
Definitely
So,
been
it's I didn't get a bad deal, I just drive a lot.
definitely been doing some traveling, so seems like it.
Yeah.
All right, so I think everyone's got a nice kind of overview of what you're all about. Do you want to plug your YouTube channel and plug your Instagram handles on real quick for everyone?
Sure. My YouTube is Monoel, Monoel, because my
Okay.
parents spelling that, just Christmas baby. And then my one Instagram is Mo Explores, and the second one is Sia Outdoors, and Sia is CYAOUTDOORS. I really had to think about that.
And again, for everybody watching, I will make sure that it is in the description below for her YouTube channel and her two Instagram handles. So, anything else that you wanted to say to anybody, or give a shout
uh,
out to anybody specifically? I mean, you're live.
we have a friend, Austin Baune, who's also really big into outdoor things,
Oh,
if you
there
like.
you go. I forgot to.
Over
Sorry, Austin, love you, bud, but yeah, I
over
definitely forgot
living.
to plug him. I will make sure his stuff's in the description as well. So we need to get him on here
No, yeah, honestly,
too.
when we
Yeah.
before in the preview, I was like, we should have texted Austin because that would have been good.
But we can definitely do something else later on down the road where it can be all three of us on here.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's definitely nice. So if Austin Bond, another Marine Corps veteran, all three of us served together, so in the same place. So he's got a big following as well. So I'll make sure his stuff is plugged in down there. So, but with that, Mo, thank you so much for coming on here. It's been great to see. I know it's been a while, so can't wait to see what you bring over the next couple weeks for your channel, to your social media platforms. I'm really excited to see your van build. I know everybody that's going to start following you is going to be really excited as well. So, with that, thank you everyone for stopping by, and we'll see you all next time.
Thanks for having me.